watching Marvel, I was just dreaming, like, what if I was a superhero? Being in the same category as all the superheroes, like Black Panther, Hulk, Thor, Captain Marvel, it's just a dream come true. I was blessed to have a Marvel comic book, and it's called Make Way for Jahkil. It's basically about my journey, my process through making the blessing bags for the homeless. I have an organization called Project I Am. I am the CEO. I started Project I Am when I was 8 years old. Project I Am provides temporary support to those in need with blessing bags that fill toiletry items that can help them on a daily basis. I put the specific items in the bags like toiletries because those are things that we usually take for granted. Not everybody has a toothbrush, toothpaste, towels to wash their face with, or soap, or conditioner, shampoo to wash your hair. Throughout the 5 years of doing the organization, I have distributed over 60,000. So my most notable achievements have been Obama tweeted about me. What inspired me to start the business was getting to see homeless people on the streets all the time when I was younger and not really understanding fully why they were out there. And me being such a curious young kid, I was always so interested in the issue. At the beginning, we had to order all the stuff, then we have to actually get it shipped to our house. Our house pretty much most of the time looks like a storage unit. It has a bunch of boxes in there so that we can get them ready, and then we will take it to whatever facility we're doing. The biggest expenses are getting supplies for the blessing bag. One blessing bag is worth about $10. So my funding comes from getting donations from people. Also, like grants, it can come from like grants that companies that I work with, Nike, Marvel. Those two, I would say, are the top ones. In the past 3 years, we've expanded to all over the place: LA, Atlanta, Oklahoma, and also outside of the country now, like Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Bahamas. Running a not-for-profit organization is very cool, actually. I feel like the difference between a for-profit and a non-for-profit is with a for-profit, you are selling a product or a service for a financial gain, and with a non-for-profit, it's more for a social aspect and you're helping people. And with a non-for-profit, you don't have to really pay taxes. It's something where you can get all the donations and then put that into your organization. My parents, they manage my schedule. They write all my things that I have to do on there, so I know what I have to do throughout the week, because I spend so long on my homework, but I do sometimes get like little periods where I'm able to focus on the business. For tip number 1, make sure you go out and find something that is needed. Tip number 2, make sure you're doing something that you love. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned so far is to put yourself in other people's shoes before you act. Everybody has their different story. This is my money story. What's yours?
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first thank you for sharing the first day of the rest of your life with me, because today is, in fact, a new day. It's an honor to be here with you guys today. So, as you know, my name is Jahkil Jackson. I'm here with you today all the way from Chicago. I'm a student athlete, a best-selling author, homeless advocate, founder of Project I Am, and CEO of the I Am Group. So some quick things about me is I'm a basketball player. I recently started teaching a social entrepreneurship class to school students, and I act and I model, and I even have time to stay up with my tap and breakdancing a little bit. So I'm also 14, and I just started high school a few months ago. So before we begin today's journey, let's start off by committing and being willing to take risks, make mistakes, celebrate wins, and learn from losses. Being genuine, honest, and sincere are keys to success. You have to come out strong and make a statement early. Go out and find what you are passionate about. Be mindful and stay aware and grounded. Gather yourself and evaluate what you are stimulated by. If you have a love for something, it shouldn't matter what capacity you begin in. Just remember, you have to start somewhere. Just get started. So I know that's much easier said than done, but I, like many of you, are part of Gen Z, and that's basically people born between 1997 and 2012. The media has us thinking that young people are lazy, negative, uninspired, and I will own up to the fact that our generation can be, let's say, special. But what group of young people aren't? I personally am here to show a different side of Black boys from Chicago. In my travels, I've met some amazing young people and I'm here to tell you that we are here to shake some things up. We are disruptors and change agents, and we should all take pride in making changes. If you're hungry for life and what it holds for you, most often that passion points finds you. All there is to do is allow it to manifest. Let me ask, how many of you have heard of social entrepreneurship? Well, I have to admit, when I first heard the term, I was like, what in the world is this? You see, I know what an entrepreneur was, but what was the social part about? The definition of a social entrepreneur is a person who starts a business with the aim of solving social problems or affecting change. This, my friends, makes me a social entrepreneur. I'm here to create change in our world. How am I doing that? In my short 14 years, I've managed to impact over 70,000 people in need throughout the world. Through my organization, Project I Am, I bring awareness of homelessness, and I also offer temporary support to those in need by distributing blessing bags full of daily essentials like toiletry items and light snacks. So far, Project I Am has raised over $275,000 to help people impacted by homelessness. Through the blessing bags, I've also touched over 60 cities, including Chicago, LA, DC, Oklahoma, Atlanta, as well as orphans in Africa, volcano victims in Guatemala, hurricane survivors in the Bahamas, Florida, Houston, and Puerto Rico. My social entrepreneurial journey began when I was 5 years old. That was when I first felt empathy. I remember being shocked to learn that not everyone has a home. I remember the sleeping bags, the smell, and the dirt. I remember being really curious. I felt the urge to help them, but being that young, it's like, what can I do? I had an overwhelming feeling in my stomach, and I knew that I had to do more. I could not yet be another person riding by to just see people that need help. Life's most persistent and urgent goal is, what are you doing for others? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said everybody can be great because anyone can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. I have a few questions for you all. Do you ever find yourself thinking negatively about a person asking for money in your car window? Can you imagine not having a place to sleep at night? What if that person in need was your friend, cousin, mom, or dad? What if it was you? How many of you have gone through an experience where you saw a homeless person and you didn't pay attention to them and you kind of just moved on? Well, next time you're in that situation, try to acknowledge them because at the end of the day, they're the same as us. They're human. They bleed the way you bleed, they cry the way you cry, and they breathe the same air that you breathe. They are people too. Did you know there are over 550,000 homeless people in the United States? While all of them are not sleeping outside, about 20% of them do search for dry spaces to lie their heads on the streets, and the other 80% are drifters, living from couch to couch with family members and friends. These are all scary facts, and I believe that we can all stand tall to fight for those that are less fortunate. This is why my organization is so important. In business, there are highs and lows, but I have been very encouraged throughout my journey. Some of my highlights have been being partnered with several major corporations such as Nike, the NBA, Gap, Invisalign, and Crate and Barrel. I also have been featured by CNN, Disney, Forbes, BET, Steve Harvey, and the Today Show. I've even been named a Marvel superhero with the power of super speed. I actually have my own Marvel comic book. It's pretty cool. But my real glory story has been being named one of 2017's most influential people by President Barack Obama, and then later getting to meet him. All because of Toiletry Bag. All because of my desire to service people in need. I recently came across a vision board that I made when I was 8 years old, and some of the things that I put on there, I've already accomplished. When I was 8 years old, I did that board with plans for adulthood, but little did I know, I had a different story to be told. So thinking back, 2020 was crazy for everyone. I mean, we were forced into a brand new way of life. but I was able to turn this into a time of empowerment. I decided to write a children's book called I Am to help kids deal with being bullied and to learn to love and appreciate themselves. Becoming an author is one of my proudest moments because I've been able to impact so many young people. I put together a goal list at the beginning of every year, and writing a book was on my list for 2020. And to actually see it happen was very satisfying, and I felt very good about myself. And guess what? The book is now a bestseller. I also created another business called the Naeem Group, which is where I house all my products. I have clothing, hats, pillows, and my book, and a portion of the proceeds goes to help fund Project I Am and help with making more blessing bags. Speaking of goals, how many of you have a plan for the next 5 years? What about 10 years? You see, even though we are still young, it's important that we think about our life beyond today and this week. I know it's hard to do that thinking about how we've been stuck in a house for pretty much 2 years, but we have to still plan. You can start by asking yourself, what are your hobbies and passions now, and how can you turn these into a life path? Planning is really important because it helps you map out your action steps. It allows you to clearly see where you are and how to get to your end goal. Did you know that having a plan actually saves you time? Let me explain why. Have you ever taken a new game out of the box and started trying to figure it out and figure out how to play it without reading the instructions and found yourself wasting time? The game instructions offer a roadmap to get to your end goal. As you map out the plan, you will be able to see the weaknesses and the strong areas, and you can make adjustments. You can also refer to your vision board when mapping out your plan to keep you on track. I recommend coming up with a game plan, something that can help guide you along the way and keep you on track. In your game plan, you have to consider your end goal and the opposition that you will face on the way. Since I have my long term goals, I have to identify my opposition. My opposition can be time management, bullies, homelessness, and sometimes even myself. Because I'm an athlete, I relate everything to sports. So in sports, the coaching staff learns the strengths and weaknesses of each team member. Well, I should say a good coaching system should learn these things. But because I've been in some messed up situations where the coaching staff was not thinking like this, it's been tough. Well, anyway, the coaching staff looks to see if the player is dedicated, hardworking, and mentally strong. They learn the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents. Recently, I figured that my life has been operating like a sports playbook. I have my coaches, my teammates, support system, and competition. I have a first, second, third, and fourth quarter in everything. And sometimes I even have an overtime. I look at all my major tasks as if I have a first, second, and third or fourth quarter in order to stay focused and complete all my tasks in a timely manner. For example, my end goal is to own an NBA team, but this is a big, expensive goal. So I have to figure out steps that I will take to get to this goal. The key will be to have multiple streams of income and a good network. For example, I've been selling merchandise for the past couple of years and selling my children's book. And as of late 2021, I began investing in stock market. So I also love the real estate game, and I hope to get involved in that by the age of 16 while I'm still in high school, and all of these things happening simultaneously while I train to play Division One basketball, the plans of playing professionally in the NBA. So this may seem like a lot before turning 18, but I've learned that over the years, we are not too young to do a lot of the things that we want to do when we're adults. With the right support, faith, and guidance, we can work towards generational wealth even in middle school. I mean, I accomplished a majority of everything that I've done even before stepping foot in high school. Something that I've learned from the late Kobe Bryant is to follow your passion outwork everyone, and be a legend. No days off. We have to be the change that we want to see in the world, even through obstacles like racism, sexism, even coronavirus. What are you waiting for? What's holding you back? My motto is don't wait to be great. Us as young people do not have to wait until we're adults to become change agents or start our own business, because we can do it right now. What's the point of waiting when you can start now and be years ahead of everyone when you're older? This actually happens to be the name of my new book that released last month. Don't Wait to Be Great offers a roadmap for young people to identify their passion, work their plan, and strive to be the best self that they can every single day. Don't Wait to Be Great helps the reader remember their why. For example, I discuss my why I'm so motivated to get up and strive for greatness every day, even when it's hard and it feels hopeless. I will share some of it with you. My why is because my ancestors gave their lives for me to be here today. When I look at the sacrifices they made, I feel that I owe it to them to be myself and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Oftentimes, when we are comfortable, we settle. But when you settle, you tend to stop striving. We have to get out, meet people, and learn other perspectives. Finding like minded people is not as hard if you are willing to put your true intentions out in the forefront while being as honest and genuine as possible. If anyone is interested, you can visit my new website, jahkil.com, jahkil.com, to check out my new book. And again, I want to applaud you guys for taking the time today and taking the first day of the rest of your life, for being brave and standing up for yourself and for others, for committing to being great. My heart's passion is helping those impacted by homelessness. What's your heart passion? Think about it. And on that note, any questions?
Awesome job, Jahkil. Amazing presentation. I love the message and I love your reason why for starting Project I Am and the hundreds and thousands of people that you've been able to impact so far. So I really have one main question for you. For all of our youth that are on the call today, do you have any advice for them if they're looking to either start their own business or if they're looking to be social entrepreneurs in their own communities? Any advice you could give them?
Yes. Like I said, it doesn't matter what capacity that you start at. It can be super small. That's how I started off. I started off with about 20 people doing 88 bags, and now we're doing more than 70,000 bags. So it really doesn't matter how big or small that you start. Just make sure you're doing something that you love and you're passionate about, so that you working for yourself is actually fun. It's way better when you have a job that you enjoy doing every day. Plus, you get to be your own boss. So that's the really cool part about it.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Any final words or anything like that that you want the students on the call to hear today at all?
Yeah, just remember, don't wait to be great. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start being great right now. You don't have to wait until you're an adult. So start now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jahkil. We look forward to hearing more from you. And then everyone remember, next week, April 13th, Jahkil will actually be speaking. We have 2 sessions available. The first from 9:40 to 10:40. The second session will be running from 11:45 to 12:30. All right, let's turn it back over.
So thank you so much for joining us. And thanks to our young people in Scott. And we thank you for being here.